Let's talk to Boris now. No, not that one. In Luxembourg. Boris, what would you like to say?
Hello, how are you doing? Best greetings from the London School of Economics, where I think you also spent some time.
I did indeed.
But
Thank you.
really, I'm really calling up from the centre of Europe here, from Luxembourg, and looking at the UK, we are shaking our heads what's going on. One thing that I've not yet read in the newspapers about, not in the Financial Times, not in the Economist,
yes,
is the risks we are taking by taking on all this government bond onto the Bank of England's balance sheet. Let's just remember that we've had for the last years tremendous quantitative easing policies, so they must be sitting on hundreds of billions of debt already. If interest rates were to go up eventually, all of these positions that they have on their balance sheet will have to be valued downwards. And this is maybe why they're so reluctant of putting up the interest rates and prefer to continue doubling up by continue buying gilts, as they've done this week. Whether this is going to get resolved in a peaceful way, I don't know. But I'm very, very concerned about where the markets are heading with this.
Can you conceive of circumstances? What do you mean when you use the word peaceful, Boris?
Well, peaceful in terms of you're not going to have an absolute meltdown in the markets again like we had in 2007, 2008.
Right.
This is just continuously doubling up on a position that we've done with quantitative easing to solve a problem. But remember, these papers that the government is essentially selling to the central banks, in this case to the Bank of England.
These are the gilts themselves.
The gilts,
yes.
Correct. They're not going away. They are positions that the Bank of England holds on its balance sheet. And because it is a central bank, it doesn't have to market them like other institutions, commercial banks would have to do.
Yes.
But eventually, this thing has to blow up. It's not only an issue for the UK, it's an issue for some of the other countries, but the UK, with the policies that they have had this week, has just doubled down again. And I don't understand why the media has not picked this up.
Well, we're doing our best, Boris. Give me a break, will you? And there are some corners of the media that are still flying distraction. You know, we've got some quotes, commentators end quotes, claiming that we've just got to hold our nerve and they've absolutely done the right thing. Is there the vaguest possibility that they're right?
That they're right about what? That we can somehow survive this without a major meltdown in the market?
No, more than that. They're claiming that this is absolutely the right path to be following and all that they have to do is hold their nerve.
Well, they've been continuing doing quantitative easing and the likes for the last 5-6 years, but it doesn't make the problem go away. We have a problem that our productivity in the Western world is going down.
Yes.
Locking people up during COVID doesn't help your productivity.
No.
And at the same time, we've been propping in money, whether it's in COVID or now through the supporting for the heating bills, we're putting in money in the system. Go back to your basic inflation rules. Inflation is too much money chasing too little goods and services. If we reduce productivity, then we have less goods and services. And if we put in money, then we are increasing inflation. It's as simple as that. And you can delay it by quantitative easing, and you can delay it a little bit by putting these gilts onto the balance sheet of the Bank of England. But at the end of the day, we'll have to bite the bullet.
How contagious is it then? Because, you know, everyone is facing similar issues, but only the UK has decided to address the flames with petrol. How contagious do these decisions become for you in Luxembourg, for example? I sense you're in the sector, are you, Boris? You're in banking or...?
I'm in banking. I was 25 years in fund management, asset management, as well as on the investment banking side.
Right.
I'm retired now. But I'm looking this with extreme void in terms of where people should be putting their money in order to be safe.
How contagious will it be? How contagious will this British condition be for the rest of the world or for the rest of Europe?
The UK, of course, is still a major financial center, yes. So that is worrying. It is. Think back maybe into the mid of the 90s when you think about the financial crisis in Asia, where Thailand was the most exposed country, and when Thailand went down, pretty quickly the other dominoes fell, Indonesia, Korea, and we had a real mess behind that, which I think is why the IMF is also coming in and looking at the UK and saying, what you've just done last week is a major doubling up on a risk that we already have. So we just hope that the UK doesn't become another Thailand case.
Great. This is going to sound like a very silly question, but you'll understand why, and it's my final one, I promise. You'll understand why I ask you. What's the best case scenario right now?
The best case scenario is I think that we model through, that we accept some of the inflation that we have, that we do not continue to meddle up, and that, if you really want to have my best case scenario is, that we solve the pressures that we have, the macro pressures that we have, including the issues in Russia.
Yes.
Get the interest rates slightly up, make fuel drop. If you say
these are international answers. I was thinking a little bit more domestically, as in terms of the without significant change to any of the variables, and with a government in London who seem to be, I'm told the OBR has just left 10 Downing Street after 45 minutes, which doesn't augur well for a deep and meaningful conversation, or indeed a change of course. If the government in the UK stays on this course, what is the best case scenario for the United Kingdom?
I think the best case scenario for the United Kingdom is to quickly have a change of government, a government that starts thinking about the working class people in any country spend their money the wisest.
Yeah.
This is an economic basic concept. It's diminishing rate of returns. If you give the purchasing power to the working class and the masses of the people, you will have a more effective working industry than doing this trickle-down nonsense where you give money to people who are already extremely wealthy, hope that this thing trickles down somehow, which it never does, because the people at the top are not very effective in investing their own money and spending it productively. Trickle down has been proven to be total nonsense. What we need to do is flow up. Working class people spend their money better. Give more.
Well, they also spend it all, don't they? I know that's the point you're making.
Absolutely.
There it is. Oh boy.
But you will not get there with the Tory government, I think, unfortunately.
No.
Sound politics will be with another party. How you get there politically, good luck for the next 2 years.
Thank you, Boris. I enjoyed that a lot. I hope you'll call me again, because I suspect, I think we both know that these issues are not going anywhere.